Hey guys, it's Jess. Welcome back. You're watching Keto Rewind. If you're new to my channel, I am on a journey to lose 140 pounds. I am currently, as of this week, week 6, I'm down 28 pounds. So I have 111 pounds left to lose. So if you have not already hit that subscribe button, totally gonna hit that button. I've got a long ways to go and lots of great stuff to talk about. Okay, so today's topic, intermittent fasting, or also known as IF. Fasting has been around forever. It's something that's not new, but there are studies recently that show the amazing health benefits of intermittent fasting. Now, I know some people are be like, oh, what's fasting? You know, why would I want to do that? Well, first of all, you won't die if you skip a meal. Some religions you skip meals a whole day at a time. You know, nobody dies. So it's not a new concept, but there's evidence now that shows how amazing these health benefits are. So when you're eating keto, you naturally feel fuller longer because you're eating fats. Fats tend to stay with you longer. So keto and IF tend to go hand in hand. And you'll notice this as you get through your journey. After that first week the first week is brutal, no even denying that. The first week, I don't care, awful. So I would not initially take on fasting and keto on the same week unless you've done it before, or maybe you're a warrior. I personally did them both at once because that's me, I'm all in when I do something. But you can easily start one and then add the next. So that's like the safer choice. So once you get through that first week, you'll notice how your hunger disappears. And that's because of two reasons. For one, when you're eating keto, obviously you stay fuller, but also fasting increases the hunger hormone, which is known as, it's a big word, I'm not even gonna try and say it, I'll post it right here. Ghrelin or something, but that's the hunger, that's the hormone that says feed me. So when you increase it, it tells that hormone calm down, you're not hungry, you don't need to eat. So it kind of regulates that, so you're not feeling so hungry all the time. So in addition to the urge not to eat, you also, it's responsible for keto and IF, and you'll notice it's hard to hit your macros when you are keto and you are practicing IF. It is really hard. And there's days that I don't hit my macros, and it's hard to get all of the macros in, because when I'm not hungry, I try to listen to my body. I'm still experimenting with how many macros that I really need to eat versus what people say you should eat. And I'm still doing that research, so the jury is out on that for me personally. But you will find that you're regardless of any of that, you will see yourself not being so hungry. And I personally never really had an off switch. I was constantly hungry. I'd have a huge meal and I could still eat the next meal. I was hungry all the time and I never felt full. Now halfway through a meal, I could be eating and I get the full fullness, and it's not even a big meal or anything like that. It's so weird. So, it's exciting. I actually feel full. I've never had that before. So that's one of my main reasons to doing intermittent fasting. Now, let's see, I'm gonna get through the benefits first of intermittent fasting in no particular order, but obviously I just told you about the hunger hormone. That's a big one. Weight loss is probably my favorite reason for intermittent fasting. Not only weight loss, but weight maintenance too. After I lose all this weight, I've got to maintain it. It's so easy. How many times have you lost weight and gained it all back, maybe plus 10 pounds? How many times have you seen somebody drop a ton of weight, but a year later they're fat again? Well, you have to figure out how to maintain it. It's not only about losing the weight, it's also about maintaining that weight loss. So when you practice intermittent fasting, that is essentially a calorie deficit, because you're skipping meals essentially, because you are only able to eat in a certain window of time. You don't eat outside of those windows. So for instance, the easiest one to practice would be a 16-8 ratio. And that means you're fasting for 16 hours of the day and you're eating only in an 8-hour window. For example, you eat between 12 p.m. like lunch and dinner, 7, 8 o'clock. So that means from outside of that 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. window, you are fasting. Now think about this. That's not as scary as you think it could be. You are sleeping like 8 of those hours, 8 of those 16 hours, maybe even more if you go to bed early. For me, I'm up all night, but I'm saying like you're sleeping in a large portion of those hours. You've already been doing that your whole life. You didn't know you were fasting, but you were. So don't look at it like it's a scary to skip breakfast and you'll never make it to lunch. It's all in your head. You will make it. So that's a 16-8 fast. You can mix and match up schedules for fasting. You could do the same thing like I'm doing. I did 16-8 in the last 6 weeks. I'm in a new 6 weeks, so I'm changing my fasting and I'm going to do a 23-1. That means I'm going to fast for 23 hours of the day and I'm only going to eat all of my calories or macros for the day in 1 hour. So essentially that means I'm just going to have dinner for the next 6 weeks. I'm going to have a large dinner because I need to eat all of my macros in that one meal, but I am not going to have breakfast and lunch. And that's just to keep my body fresh and not in like a rhythm or in any, it's to basically keep my body moving, because you can easily get in a zone and then your body gets used to it. So the cool thing about fasting, you can change it up all the time. You can change it up all in the same week. Like if you want to fast for one whole day, eat the next, maybe another type of fast, so you can customize it however it fits into your schedule. There's tons of ways to do it. So don't think just because one person does the 16-8, one does a 23-1, or you have to do a 24. There's so many ways to do it, and you can change it throughout the week. Every other week you can do it different. Just make it fit into your schedule. That's all that matters. Now, that's basically what fasting is, and here's why you're going to want to do fasting. First off, well, I told you weight loss and increases the hunger hormone. There's 2 reasons right there. The next one, I personally never had any diabetes or insulin resistance. However, I have a family history of one. So type 2, I don't know if that necessarily runs in your family because that's more diet related than type 1. Type 1 is completely different. But like type 2, you can bring that on by being overweight or obese. So youth is on my side. I'm only 35, so I've been getting away with being morbidly obese and not having an insulin problem. But it's going to catch up to me eventually. That's why I'm losing weight, obviously. So if you are insulin resistant, maybe you take some drugs that, insulin or metamorphin, or I can't even think of the other ones, but it will help you reduce your insulin by fasting. And I know it's crazy, but you've got to check out Dr. Jason Fung, who's basically, in my opinion, like the pioneer of the fasting. So he deals specifically with insulin or diabetes type patients in his clinic, in his office. So totally check out Dr. Jason Fung. I'll leave a link somewhere. He'll go in more in depth into that, but the main cliff notes is it reduces your insulin resistance, which will help prevent type 2 diabetes. So the next reason, another, like a side note of that, if you have PCOS or one of the female reproductive, your whole happy uterus, fasting and keto works amazing to help those symptoms. I personally have PCOS and my symptoms are pretty much non-existent when I'm fasting and doing keto. So look at that as well. That's like a little side note. So the next one, say it would be naive to think that you could ever be keto and never cheat, or eat someone else's food and they've snuck in an ingredient that you didn't know. Like say they used a sugary marinade and you went to somebody's house, had dinner at their house, and they marinated in whatever store-bought all over the chicken, and you have basically teriyaki sugar teriyaki chicken that has a sugary marinade or a sugary barbecue sauce, or maybe you just had to have a cheat day. It happens, it's life, it's okay. The best way to get back into ketosis is to fast. Intermittent fasting, like the faster that goes through your system, the faster your body's gonna get back into ketosis. So I have personally not cheated yet, but I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna cheat because, life. So when that day comes, or say I figured, I was joking with my husband, I'm like, when I hit my first 50 pounds gone, we're gonna have a cheat day. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna have a cheat day. The next day after that, I'm gonna do fast. I'll probably fast 24 hours. I may fast 36 hours. I don't know. But that'll be the way that I get my body back into ketosis faster. So another reason to do fasting. So the next one, inflammation. There's a lot of inflammatory diseases that will benefit so much from fasting. Fasting reduces inflammation. So like if you have arthritis, or you have, some type of a, disease that has a high inflammation, you're totally going to want to do this. Why would you not want to feel better, or even try to feel better? It doesn't mean it's going to work miracles, but why wouldn't you at least try, But before I say that, if you have anything serious like heart disease, sugar problems, any type of disease in general, talk to your doctor before you take anything, you start doing anything. Always talk to your doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just an expert in my journey. So if you have something serious, definitely talk to your doctor. See if this is the right thing for you. And find a good doctor that not only wants you to succeed, like I like a doctor that treats them and streets them. Basically, give you the tools you need, and there you go. I don't want a doctor that just sees me as, money to keep coming back, reoccurring. If I keep giving them pills for something, they'll come back because they'll have a new problem. I don't want a doctor like that. I want a doctor that treats them and streets them. I want the tools and the ability to help myself and to not have to be on any medications. So next one, with that all being said, heart health is a huge reason why I do intermittent fasting. I have shown in a couple other videos, or not shown, but I've told my story. I have a genetic heart defect that I was born with, that there's no way around it. My father has it. It's a genetic heart issue, or genetic heart defect, if you will. And it's not something that I am going to be able to run away from. It won't matter if I'm 10 pounds underweight to being morbidly obese. It doesn't change. I have a 100% chance. So with that being said, why would I play Russian roulette and be morbidly obese? It just makes all those symptoms come on sooner and makes my condition worse. So obviously losing this weight and getting to a healthy weight will help give my heart more time to be as efficient as possible before I need pacemakers and all that other stuff. So the whole point, what I'm trying to say is, what I have is inevitable. I'm going to need things to keep my heart going as I get older because of my heart defect. However, I'm going to prolong the time it takes till I reach that time to where I need those things. Like my father has, he's had his pacemaker defibrillator thing since he was in his 50s. My doctor, we have goals to maybe hit my 70s before I need all that. Like just 20 extra years of, freedom before you have to deal with all of that stuff. So like I said, I'm not going to be able to run away from this issue, but I would love to push it back as far as possible. Give my heart the most health and most, just the easier go at it, because not only that, I'll feel better for longer too. So with that being said, heart health. Intermittent fasting reduces the bad LDL cholesterol. The blood triglycerides and inflammatory markers, blood sugar and insulin resistance obviously as well, all risks that contribute to heart disease. So those are all huge reasons to practice intermittent fasting. In fact, my doctor obviously was one of the ones that recommended to my father and me intermittent fasting and keto, like cardiologists that strongly suggest and gave me books to read, the whole 9 yards. So you definitely want to find a good doctor that's familiar with this, that is on board with this and sees that success in their own, in their own practice. Brain health. is huge. Okay, so I had what I called mommy brain. Busy mom, working mom, you know, running a business, the whole 9 yards. I felt like if I didn't write it down, I would never remember it. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast in the morning back then. Fast forward 6 weeks, I can remember everything. I am sharp as a tack. Intermittent fasting helps with your brain health. It increases your brain, your mental clarity. It reduces your brain fog, so you're more productive in the day. You make less mistakes. You remember things. You wake up with full of energy. Your mood is way better. You know, your moods are stabilized. Your moods are happier. Your brain health is a huge reason why, and there's studies that show this, that it's a total reason why you should be doing this. I feel like I get it together now, and I am so much more efficient and productive, and I even on my personal, with being that I own a busy women's boutique, I am making less errors in my job. I send people the right sizes, you know, I remember what they say. So that's all income for me, because if I'm not making mistakes and I'm not only making a happy customer, but it's cheaper for me to get it right the first time. You know what I mean? And lastly, one of my favorite reasons, anti-aging. Intermittent fasting can obviously extend the lifespan. There are studies that show it increases your lifespan, your health in general, your immune system, and not only that, you have better skin and overall just you look fresher, younger. I mean, who doesn't want to look younger? So I personally noticed a huge difference in my skin. My skin is so clear. I'm in my mid-30s, but I baked a lot in the sun. When I was in my teens and 20s, I was not the best at putting sunscreen on. So I found that I look 35 again, you know? So I found also that when, like the doctor I referenced before, Dr. Jason Fung, his patients are typically insulin resistant, or basically type 2 diabetes is a huge portion of his patients, and those that have lost significant amounts of weight did not need skin removal surgery. I have 140 pounds total to lose. I don't want to look like a shriveled up raisin unless I, have to. Let me just say, I'd rather be skinny or at a healthy weight and have lots of loose skin than being fat like this and unhealthy. I don't want to take that apart. I totally would pick loose skin any day over being morbidly obese. However, with that being said, if there are tools that I can do that make this journey better, why would I not use them? I would love to avoid skin removal surgery. So in general, that's just something that it's another reason to do it. I mean, it's free. It not only makes my grocery budget cheaper, because between my husband and I, we miss 14 meals a day, and that trims our grocery budget. And the last property is anti-aging, one of my favorites. Pretty self-explanatory. With this particular benefit, when your body is fasting and your body is not constantly eating food because you're grazing all day, you're eating giant meals, and having another giant meal, and so your body's in a constant digestive state, your body doesn't have time to do what it normally needs to do, and that's repair itself, and that means when it's not digesting, it's actually doing its job by cleaning out all the old dead cells, bringing in the new, like out with the old, in with the new. That concept, well, that applies to your skin, because it makes your skin look younger and fresher. Get all those dead old skin cells out and let the new ones come through. In addition to that, when your body's not digesting, your body is increasing its immune system, because it has time to do that now, because it's not busy burning off your food for you. So your immune system is increased. Your overall health, because of your immune system, is increased, because you are now able to repair itself. It's not spending all its time, fighting off infection, fighting, all kinds of outside elements. You know, it has time to repair itself naturally, making you healthier. So I find that I've done fasting and keto before. I did it last year before I fell off the wagon. I was never sick. That's just an excellent benefit, you know, like, who wants to be sick, you know? So your body has time that if a foreign thing comes in and gets you sick, well, it can fight it off and you never feel any effects. You wake up feeling fine and you never had it because your body had a chance. Well, in addition to that, anti-aging properties, because it's out with the old, in with the new, you're younger, your skin looks fresher, your skin conditions clear up. It's a fantastic way to combat any skin issues in general. And not only that, you look youthful. So the anti-aging benefits, and there's studies that show these anti-aging benefits. You've got to do your own research and see. So that's one of the main things. Do your own research. I'm not just saying these things. There's so much research out there. So talk to a doctor, find some resources on the internet that are credible, that show studies, make your own decisions, and know that intermittent fasting is something we do every day. We sleep and we're fasting. We don't even know we're fasting. So why not add a couple more hours to that so that your overall health can be better? And with all that being said, I consider myself in weight loss mode right now. So that means I'm having very minimal cheats, very on point macros. You know, I'm in live, breathe, die keto right now and fasting. Well, once I hit my goal weight, there's a whole nother beast in itself, is to maintain that goal weight. So doing intermittent fasting helps maintain those calories deficits so that you can manage your weight loss. When you're not overweight, you don't get to eat so many calories to maintain that weight. So I'm not sure what the recommended calorie amount is for me when I hit my goal weight, but I'm going to guess, you know, if you're not trying to lose weight, you're only trying to maintain, I'm going to guess like 2,000. I don't know that number yet, so don't quote me. But I'm saying if you're only allowed to eat 2,000 calories in a day, well, you can really maintain your weight loss using intermittent fasting with that. So you either can skip breakfast or you can, you know, alternate days of the week that you fast. You know, just making it easier to make sure you're not going to gain all that weight back, because that's a lot of hard work. I know just in 28 pounds how much work I've put into myself. I'm not going to blow it, you know, when I get to my goal weight. So being that you can eat less calories when you're smaller, calories add up faster, you can maintain that weight with fasting. So, and one little side note, people ask, well, what's the difference between fasting and starving yourself? Well, starving yourself intentionally is a whole nother issue in itself. That's not for health benefits. That's for emotional or mental health. That's not fasting. That's starving yourself. If you intentionally fast for weight loss, health benefits, but you're still eating your macros, that is completely different than starving yourself. Because if you're starving yourself, you're not hitting your macros. You're not doing it for health benefits. It's not the same thing. Fasting is different because there's weight loss that's for a reason. Like, you know, if you're morbidly obese, you don't need to be fat. Weight loss is a legitimate reason why you should fast. And also for weight maintenance, because, you know, that helps get you hitting your target macros. And for health benefits, who doesn't want a stronger immune system? Who doesn't want to have reduced chances of getting, you know, cancers, to heart disease, to insulin resistance, to all of that stuff? So like, those are health benefits. Those are legitimate health benefits to fast for. So as long as you're eating your macros in your day, it doesn't matter that you've skipped breakfast. You know, that's not starving yourself. You're still eating. So I would strongly disagree comparing starving yourself to fasting intentionally for health benefits. They're two separate issues. They're not even the same issue. So don't let somebody criticize it, because who doesn't want to help themselves be their best selves? You know, who doesn't? These are wonderful reasons to fast. So like I said earlier, talk with your doctor, make sure fasting is for you, do your research, and see, you know, the millions of reasons why you should be intermittent fasting. So if you want help getting on a fasting schedule or something like that, comment below. If you're an experienced IFer, comment what you do. You know, which method of fasting do you use? Some people do 12 hours, I'm sorry, what is it, 16-8. Then the common ones are 16-8, 23-1, 24, not the number 24, but 20 hours fasting, 4-hour eating window. And then there's other ones like a 36-hour fast, 48-hour fast. And then you eat regular outside of those fasting windows. So there's scheduled days. Like, there's so many ways to do this. It's so exciting, and it's a way to keep your body constantly guessing. No plateaus, right? So I would highly recommend you try intermittent fasting. Do your research and then report back. Like I said, I have 111 pounds left to lose. I'm gonna be doing this for a long time. You'll watch my skin as I shrink. Did it really help? Am I gonna need a tummy tuck when I'm all done? It's worth watching. You know, follow this journey, hit that subscribe button. I wanna help you and come along and cheer you on just as you're doing that for me. So I'll catch you at the next video. And you're watching Keto Rewind, and I'm Jess. Bye!